Let's move on to another Clinton, this being the former President Clinton and Sestak, perfect together, right? Congressman Joe Sestak, the Democrat vying to win Arlen Specter's U.S. Senate seat, is getting some help from former President Clinton. He was at a rally with him in Scranton this week, and even though Clinton was the White House emissary, remember this, who tried to coax Sestak out of the Senate race to win the Democratic primary so that Specter would be the main candidate. So is it that easy to forgive and forget in Pennsylvania politics?
Well, Clinton this week when he was in Scranton was interviewed and said no, he never made the entreaty. He never talked to Sestak about getting out of the race. I mean,
liar, liar, pants on fire.
Yeah, there are more stories here than you can shake a snake at. The fact of the matter is, it doesn't matter.
No.
Look, Joe Sestak did nothing wrong. I mean, in all fairness to the congressman, he was offered a job. I think everybody understands that. Number two, he didn't take it. He didn't get out. The White House had offered, go to Colorado, where Andrew Romanoff, who just lost his own primary there for the Senate, was offered a job as well. Sestak did nothing wrong. Clinton and Sestak are close.
We're talking about politics here. I mean, people go to bed enemies one night, they wake up the next day, they're the best of friends. And in this case, in Pennsylvania, at least that the former president is on the same page at this point with the White House, unlike in Colorado, where the former president was taking one candidate, the current White House was taking another candidate. That's not what you call fun party politics. So
the real surprise would be if the Democrats didn't unify around their primary candidate. I mean, that's what usually happens, and it ought to happen this time.
And Clinton's popular in Pennsylvania. He has been. So why not use it for all this?
Well, you have two phones, and Obama's calling on one, and Clinton's calling on the other, and everyone is answering the Clinton phone, and not the Obama phone,
Clinton
right?
is very popular, and I think he is needed for Sestak because Sestak is liberal. We're talking about Toomey, who is on the right fringes of the GOP, and Sestak, who is on the left fringes of the Democratic Party. And Clinton, who's perceived more as a moderate, can pull him in just a little bit and give him more of that independent kind of appeal.
The big story here is not Bill Clinton supporting Joe Sestak. The big story is, where's President Obama? President Obama was not in this state to campaign for, what was that guy's name?
Well, he didn't win the state, remember, with Hillary Clinton.
Well, yeah, but he carried it by 10 points in the general election over John McCain. That's true. Hillary Clinton shellacked him in the state, but then he turned around and won the general election. The big story is, President Obama did not come in the state for one Arlen Specter during the primary. Where is President Obama in Pennsylvania for Joe Sestak? We know there's no love lost between them for obvious reasons.
So he is a moderate state, and I think Obama thinks he's doing his candidates a favor by lying low.
Obama would be here if Sestak wanted him here.
Yeah, I think that's
what
the key.
At the end of the day, you want to win.
You want to win.
You need another D in the Senate, and so whatever happens, you take whatever the low road or the high road. This president will do that.
While we're on this issue, Terry, how is the Toomey-Sestak race going right now? It's pretty close, isn't it?
Yeah, the average of the polls is Toomey probably has a 5 to 7 point lead. I think most folks are surprised that it is as close as it is. Make no mistake about it. Sestak ran a brilliant primary campaign. Everybody would admit to that. A brilliant commercial done here, in the city by Neil Oxman from the campaign group. And running $5 million worth of commercials did help Sestak gain, not just with Democratic voters, but with all other kinds of voters, and that helped make the race close. I think the election in the fall is going to be much closer than people think between the two.
It's going to be all about turnout, definitely. I mean, Toomey at this point is pouring lots of money into the airwaves.
He's been running a lot of ads.
A lot of ads, every station you go to.
And it's going to be unusual, as Terry, I think, has pointed out. This is an ideological conflict. We don't always get that clear contrast between ideology, but in this race we do.
Yeah. Sort of like Wofford. The last time we had a ideology was Rick Santorum, who, by the way, won in 1994 when someone said no one that conservative could possibly win a Senate seat in Pennsylvania, as Christine rightly points out, moderate state. But in an unusual election year, he beat the more liberal Harris Wofford, and some think that that's the Toomey road to victory in a more conservative era with voters concerned about debts and deficits, but we will see.
You know what's a nice thing that I just wanted to say quickly, and it has nothing whatsoever to do with politics, but it's the tenor of this race. You can see that these two candidates like and respect each other. They're not throwing personal barbs. They're not, this is the kind of race that you want. Well, yeah.
It's not October yet.
Good point.
That's true.
You know, they were very civil back in the Senate.
Yeah, there you go.
No,
When
they were
everybody's
very
sleeping.
civil during the primary when they actually did two events together when they had a common enemy.
Yeah.
They
Right,
were all
that's
pointing their
right.
finger
They get
at
the enemy
they
of
were
my
pointing their
enemy is my
finger at
friend.
Arlen Specter.
That's it.
Let's move on to the